Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to have a little discussion. Where Apex is, how's it doing, what's right, what's wrong, how they can improve, and even some solutions. If you're unaware, I took a little break from the game. I got married on September 23rd, so for a couple of weeks leading up to that date and a couple of weeks after, I pretty much closed down completely and really did not pay much attention to Apex Legends at all. And some of you probably realized because I did not upload too many videos in this past month. I always try to keep my videos upbeat, positive, and lighthearted as possible because really, there's enough negativity out there on the internet, so I generally try to steer clear from this. But today, it might be a little bit different. We might get a little negative, so just understand that I still do love the game. And overall, I'm not trying to complain about the game. I'm really just trying to give some meaningful feedback and understand where the dev team is coming from and where we can improve on. And because of this, I am going to try to give some solutions to everything that we do talk to as my way of giving meaningful feedback so I can contribute to a healthy discussion that hopefully Respawn or EA can hear and take some feedback from. And believe me, they are absolutely listening, even if it does seem like they are not sometimes. Before we even get to any of this, let's just look at the numbers of Apex Legends, and we're going to look at the Steam numbers. Apex Legends has continued to rise in popularity, at least on Steam. Its monthly playership is about 5 times as what it was when it first came to Steam. In those down months, which I consider to be the third month of every season, so if a season comes out in August, you have October being that third month. These seasons are even higher than what they have ever been in the past, and right now, we're actually in the golden age of Apex, if you kind of think about it, as we're having the best viewership, or the best player count that Apex has ever had, at least on Steam. And basically, this just tells us that Apex is continuing to climb the ladders, is continuing to get more popular, which is very good. But at the same time, this could mean complacency, and having complacency in a game, as we know with some games in the past, can be a very bad thing. One of the biggest things for us to take a look at is going to be game health, and that's the bugs and overall how the game is performing. It's something that is always very hard to tackle because it does vary from player to player. It depends on where you are in the region, what console you're playing on, if you're playing on PC, if you're playing on Switch, if you're playing on mobile, well, maybe not in this case, but overall, there's a lot of variables that go into these games, and your experience could be very different. If you're playing on an original Xbox One, that thing runs like trash on that, but if you're playing on an Xbox Series X, the game runs absolutely beautiful. I don't have much problems, but the big one for me right now in Season 14, and it's a big one that's happening to myself and a lot of others, it actually has nothing to do with the actual game, but it's the server connection. I have non-stop packet loss, and every time this does happen, there's no fixing it in the match. It kind of seems like it's some sort of server connection issue. I've never really had this in previous seasons, at least not as much as I'm having it right now. Whenever you get this, if you're in a ranked game, you're pretty much throwing the match because you can't do anything. Besides this one bug, if you put that to the side, I don't have any other bugs when I'm playing the game that are so detrimental to my match where I really just can't play and it's absolutely affecting me. You'll have little bugs from time to time, and every game has this, but overall, Apex is doing a fine job when it comes to the overall bugs that are in the game. But that big one that I do want to talk about is going to be the audio, and more specifically, I want to mention the game engine that Apex Legends is running on. If you're unaware, it is running on the Source engine, which is from 2004, and I actually think that this is probably the root cause for a lot of game bugs, or even the audio issues that we are having. I'm not a game developer, so I don't want to talk out of turn here, but I do want to bring it up, and I don't want to toss this around to kind of willy-nilly, but if you are looking at it, maybe taking Apex Legends and moving it to a different game engine needs to be done. I know it's not like you're copy-pasting, and there's a lot of work when it comes to this, but if we are going to be looking at Apex Legends in the future, we're probably not going to get an Apex Legends 2, so this is something that you might want to be looking at if you do want to have the game overall be better off in the future. It's been rumored for a while now that the engine is at its max in terms of its capabilities, which could be why the player sizes are what they are, the map sizes are what they are, and a lot more when it does come to in-game systems. There's a lot that comes down to the game engine, but we're about to be going into the 19th year of the Source engine, and if you look at games that were out in 2004, we're talking like Halo 2, and we're talking these really old games that were from like 3 or 4 console generations ago, and we're playing Apex Legends on that same old engine when, games were not as complex back then as they are now, and it might be time to update that engine. Overall though, for the bugs, how can they fix it? I did say I was going to try to give a solution for everything. I think the biggest thing would be to have some more transparency, share your list of current known bugs, or the ones that aren't going to be having players manipulate them, and then list them in order of the priority so we can get some sort of idea as what you're working on, and having a blog type post every week where this is a portion of your discussion, where the game is going, where the game health is at. I understand there's a lot of risk in doing this, but if you do this and have a lot more transparency in your communication, it's almost always well received, and your player base is going to be very thankful for it, even if it doesn't seem like it at times. And I didn't think of this solution myself. You just look at Bungie and Destiny 2 and what they do with the Destiny franchise. They give weekly blog posts posts as to where the game is, what's going on in the community. And this could be something really cool to have for Apex Legends. We got a lot more to talk about, but I do want to do a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, which is Glitch Energy. Recently, Glitch completely renewed and revamped their product lineup to make their already premium product even better. Glitch gives me the focus I need to game on or just have a delicious drink. Join the official brand of gamer wellness where every second counts. Head over to glitchenergy.com, use code TimProVision for 15% off all your orders. And as always, supporting my sponsor helps support me, and big thanks to you and them for the support. Quickly looking at the game modes in Apex Legends, and it's going to be quick because there's not a lot to talk about, which is kind of the problem in its own. Game modes for me in Apex are kind of stale and they're kind of boring. We've had the same modes now since the game launched. We got trios, we did have duos come out, and then we did have arenas come out, but overall, the game modes in Apex Legends have been pretty bad over the past year in my opinion. The amount of LTMs that we get are kind of okay. We get one during the middle of the season, which is good, but I much rather would have a rotating LTM that enhances the mode that the majority of us play, the Battle Royale. I like Control and I like Gun Run, but overall, they're really not what people are hopping into Apex to play because we want to play the Battle Royale. I really want to see like Armed and Dangerous come back. I want to see Second Chance. I want to see other modes around the Battle Royale that really just enhance that BR experience. And beyond this, solos mode, been saying it for a long time. Maybe quads, why not? Give it a try. Do quads, but maybe reduce the ultimate timers on everyone's ultimate. I don't know. Just try some different things. I think it's been the same for so long. It's been a very safe playlist, I'll say. It's not bad, but it's really not doing anything crazy. I don't have a whole lot to say about ranked Apex Legends. I generally am not a ranked player just because I don't have the time to dedicate in that mode. But overall, why not add some duos ranked? Switch it up a little bit. Also, maybe switch up how the ranked format is doing. Have an actual elo system, not the rank system that we have right now. It's good, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't really have a true skill as to what people are actually at in terms of their level. You can very easily manipulate the rank system now, especially with de-leveling. I see people flying off the map in early games to de-rank sometimes, and I'm just like, why bother? I understand that de-ranking is a good thing, but I just really wish that the rank system as a whole would get some sort of revamped, so it's just a little bit more meaningful of an experience and a little bit less boring in my opinion. And finally, the matchmaking, and more specifically, the skill-based matchmaking. I think we all have pains with this. I think the skill-based matchmaking is definitely needed. You need some sort of matchmaking so your top-tier players are not just absolutely crapping on everyone that is really low, but the matchmaking just doesn't do it for me. And I think the average player, you and me, coming home from work or school and hopping into the game, I think that we are probably the most punished player. The top-tier skill players, you know, they still have to sweat it out, but they have that skill that really any match can go find for them. And that really low type of skill player, they are being protected from us in the middle, and it's really just us that are kind of a little bit above average or average that are really sweating out nonstop, and it kind of eliminates the chill factor. We got ranked mode. If you want to really test your skills, hop into ranked. If you want to play pubs and have a chill experience, hop into pubs, but that's just me. Let me know what you think about the modes in Apex. I just kind of wish they had a little bit of a shakeup and we had maybe like a rotating LTM that is Battle Royale centric. This would be pretty cool. If we take a look at the cosmetics and customization, overall, it's been improving greatly, but it definitely needs some new flair. More than just weapon and legend skins. There's emotes and banners and all these trackers, but it's kind of just like, man, I don't really care about all the garbage. Battle passes are kind of whatever. For a while, I wanted them to get revamped, and I think I still want battle passes to get revamped. I want someone to come up with something innovative, but I kind of just don't care that much anymore. The amount of stuff that you get for $9.50 or $10 is pretty great, even if a lot of it is just trash. For me, it all centers around the level 100 and level 110 reactionary weapon skins. I think that this needs to be the base for weapons and legends going forward, not the max. We should have a ton of more interesting and cool skins that are honestly just pretty sick. We'd probably all spend a little bit more money if this stuff was actually super high quality, and I would even spend more money on a battle pass if we weren't getting, you know, 90 garbage items with like 5 good items. And if I'm being completely honest, you know, I don't want them to just shove a lot of stuff down us, and I do think that the monthly store is a cool thing to have. You know, they've had the recolor store. These are steps in the right direction, but it's definitely not enough. I just don't understand why they aren't just pushing a ton more artists into the game, because it seems like it would just pay for itself tenfold. You hire artists for, say, I don't know, $500,000 a year, and you're pushing out like millions and millions and millions of dollars in revenue. It just seems like it would pay for itself. I don't know. I'm not really even going to get into the Apex packs thing. I think Apex packs need to go away. I think child gambling and all that stuff, but that's not the topic for this video. Overall, just let me know what you think about the customization and cosmetics. Moving on, we have the category that I want to talk about the most out of all of these categories, and it's the innovation category. category. Pushing barriers, changing the way the industry looks at a battle royale, and for starters, Apex Legends might be the best battle royale out there right now. If not, it's like a top 3 in my eyes at least. I think they've been a little bit subpar when it comes to really pushing boundaries lately though. How many seasons have we had now where it's kind of just been the same thing as the previous season? Season 11 comes out with a map, season 12, 13, 14 are pretty much exactly the same. We get a new legend and, you know, a little bit changes in the maps and a little change in meta, and then you have a new map season. It's kind of just a non-ending cycle where nothing really interesting has been coming out on their side, at least of course in my opinion, as always. I will give them a little bit of credit though, because just this past month they did do something that I have been looking for a long time now, and this is the update of the animations with the healing items. Whether you like them or you hate them, this is the stuff I want to see them refining. I want them to be updating and evolving the game that we are playing day to day, and really this is kind of the start in terms of what I think they should be doing. Some people do say that they don't listen to players and they don't listen to fans. I don't agree with that. You know, we've seen some changes that have directly come from the community, and I do think that they absolutely care, because, you know, if the game sucks, then no one's gonna play it, and obviously that's bad, and they don't want that. It's their job and their livelihood, and it's our enjoyment, and we both want them to succeed. I could be talking a little out of turn here, but I do personally work in a field that is often sometimes heard as comparable to that, and it's architectural design and project management. If you don't know, I am responsible for tens, maybe even hundreds of millions of dollars some years, so I do get it. There's a ton of complex pieces that are all moving around, and it's a lot to manage and it's a lot to polish, but it's kind of just an excuse. And at the end of it all, whether you're spending 10 million, whether you're spending $1,000, whether you're spending 100 million, you're really just graded on the product that you do have to show at the end, and this is what matters. Apex is the best battle royale out there, and it should be graded and reviewed as that game that can push boundaries, and I don't think it has done that much in nearly the past 18 months to really do anything to push barriers and move the industry forward. We had arenas last May, and I think this was a push, but it's basically a failure in my eyes in terms of its reception. I think we were going to go full hog into arenas, having it be like some sort of like mode that they're doing on the side. I think we could have saw a lot of cool custom matches, could have saw some tournaments, and none of this really happened. And this shows because we really have not had arenas get updated in honestly a very long time here. We've had a couple maps and we've adjusted the buy prices of some things, but overall that's about it. We really need something next level for the game. I don't have the answers, as it's not my job necessarily to figure it all out. We did hear some leaks of Titanfall maps coming into the game, and it wasn't just like one map, it was like 9 maps. If we could port Titanfall as the game into Apex Legends and maybe at least have like a wall running mode with like a pilot type feature, maybe not adding Titans yet, but if we get this into the game, I'm all in for it. Let's add a lot more playability, and having Titanfall be directly accessible from Apex Legends, it sounds absolutely dope to me. You know what I really want beyond anything though? It's something new, something exciting, and something that has not been done yet before. I want something that I cannot think of. Gaming as a whole has felt a little stale, and I think Apex Legends is following this. Let me know what you think down in the comments. What does Apex Legends need to really push it further and further from what it is right now? Is Titanfall the savior to Apex, or is it something new? Check out this video right here. As always, happy gaming.